Mic lock button is on. Double tap to lock.
Hello, my name is Stephen Nightingale Ball of DJ Megatron, Tampa Radio, Ball and McInerney Productions, Mind Mob YouTube channel, which is what this is. Goodness grief, many different things. A syndicate project, a syndicate press, sorry. Project X, blah 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 blah, yada 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 yada. Today, I'm just chilling out before I start work. I'm starting work a bit late today because I can. That's it. I got a couple of questions asked of me. And the first one is about my podcast, which I'll answer. And the second one is about mental health advocacy. So the first question is the audio blog podcast. Why do a podcast? Why start a podcast? This is a question I get asked, and how to start one. Well, it's easy, use the tools you have. Don't go buy an expensive voice recorder just yet. I don't think it's something you need. I've got one because I had another project where I wasn't using my phone. I wanted to do other things with it. But I am using it for another podcast. I'm not using it for the audio blog because I don't think I need to unless I'm doing something else different. But you don't need an expensive voice recorder. You don't necessarily need editing software. What you need is the software. You can just use your phone, your iPad, your laptop, whatever. It helps to script what you're going to say, but it doesn't have to necessarily, you don't necessarily have to make any notes or anything. Let it flow. Let 100% of yourself go out there. That's something I can't do for you. People are asking me, how do you put 100% of yourself out there? Well, are you a creator and you're having a creative block at the moment? They call it creative block, don't they? They call it writer's block, but I like to say creative block because it can happen. It can happen anywhere. You can, artists, you can sit at the desk and not know what to do. You can be a musician, Many times we'll open up the DAW and not know what to do. It's the same with a podcast. The frightening thing is seeing that blank page, that especially with Anchor, you see that blank episode. You're going, oh, not the blank episode. And it happens with so many. But it's brilliant because it's like, the blank episode, I can put what I want into it. And so just explain to your audience you're having a creative block, a mental block. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to turn. You're hitting the brick wall almost. Very good place to start. YouTubers do it a lot, and so they should, because they're getting paid to do something. If you're thinking about monetizing your product at a later stage, if you are doing it for free to begin with, then state to your audience what you need to do, because it's important. People don't know how to put 100% of themselves out there. Their imagination, their innovation, their creation, what they think and dream, and their visions and their passions. A lot of people don't want to put that out. But when you do a podcast, you're not being judged. You're not being judged. Nobody's judging you at all. It's none of their business. When you put the podcast out, the audience that are going to listen to it, they're the ones you make it, because you never know. It's like, oh, I was listening to your podcast the other day and I picked up on this and so on. And this really changed my life. Or, and a lot of people say, hey, I'm doing a podcast, I don't know where to turn. And that's the thing. For those of you who are monetizing your podcast, which I'm not monetizing mine, but for those of you who are monetizing your podcast and you haven't done a podcast going, hey, today I've got creative block, it's important to say it. It's important to tell, because you are getting paid for doing it. You're getting, it's your job, it's your career, It's like when you're out of stock, if you go into a store and a store owner says, I'm sorry, we haven't made enough of these things today. You say, for example, you go to buy bread and, we've ran out of bread, or if you wait 10 minutes, we've got a fresh batch coming out. If you wait 10 or 20 minutes, you get that kind of thing. Or, I'm sorry, we don't do this now, kind of thing. You have to do that with your podcast. You have to say, I'm sorry, I'm out of stock, I'm out of creation, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to turn. You guys really need to help me here. And that's the point, that's the point. I watch a guy on YouTube Kevin Chapman. Great guy. His earlier vlogs, we were tuned into him every week. We still are. But he's, in the beginning, it was like, hey, I'm Kevin Chapman and I'm going to make this vlog and blah, blah, blah. And, he's always stated that channel's it's just been there and it just gets him a bit of money on the side. I'm sorry to say it like that, but because he does his other channel, which is the Football Manager stuff, which is more important. When he did his vlog channel as Kevin Chapman and everybody else was in the background, that was, but then we didn't know that when we watched. See, I'm old school with YouTube. I check what the channel's about and stuff. I look at other videos before I even subscribe. But there was some videos about his autistic son, Andy, and his frustrations with the education system, and he was real frustrated. And not just that, they weren't all like that. There was some where he was talking about his comic collection, his geek collection, his wrestling, his... they were really interesting videos. And he threw everything into it. Very difficult to do, being a vlogger. Then he went to becoming a family vlog. And I thought, I'm not going to put it in the comments because I thought it would sound a bit like a troll. But I thought, oh no, Kev, don't be a family vlogger. Because they came into it a bit too late, I think. Because the family vlogging was just when he started as a family vlogging channel. All the family vlogging channels got, well, I'm sure you'll remember that thing happening with the YouTube. But, it made me start my weekly vlogs. It made me, well, it wasn't actually, Kevin Chapman was, he gave me the idea for it. It was other people that, I didn't really want to do a weekly vlog in the beginning, but I thought, no, maybe I can switch it up a bit. But yeah, but like now he's doing a weight loss series and things. And it's good if he does that because, you know, you're not just watching him sort of walk around the house doing daily boring stuff. I mean, some of that's pretty good. You know, it's like, oh, I went out and took the rubbish out, blah, blah, and so on and so forth.
10:03 a.m.
But yeah, it depends what you want to watch. Another thing I liked was the trips out. There's one where they go in the woods and they get really muddy and stuff. Andy's like leading the way, and it's I didn't comment on that because I think Kev didn't want people to put a certain comment in. I wanted to put, oh, isn't it great that Andy's leading the way and la 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 la, you know. But I just laughed at that because it was brilliant. You know, it's just everyone was getting stuck in the woods, and I just thought, brilliant. It was we were partway through lockdown last year. I think it was in May that came out, last May, and they were walking through the woods, and I was in fits of hysterics, laughter, because I just thought, this is brilliant. This is what we want. This is what we need. You know. It really cheered me up, you know, to see that. But he's now, like, and when that was it, when he started doing his weekly vlogs every month, like, we were like, why, come on, we're going to miss this every day. The daily vlogs. Then he went to weekly vlogs. And now he's struggling. It's struggling, you know, it's hard to put out a weekly video every single week for a year. You know, that's it's hard to do. So next, like now he's doing, he's doing his challenges, intermittent fasting, what that's like. And so when we see the material, it's good material. You know, the vlogs have switched up from what he used to do. So definitely. Anyway, but and another thing as well you should do as well, if you've got a podcast, don't just, like, if you're starting out on Anchor, if you like Anchor, I wouldn't monetize your podcast on Anchor. There's other people that do YouTube videos that are more qualified than me to talk about it, but I wouldn't, from what I've heard, I wouldn't monetize with Anchor. I wouldn't actually monetize with the actual platform. What I would do is go down, well, everyone's going down the Patreon route, but I wouldn't go down that route necessarily, because it's monetization on top of monetization. So with Patreon, it's they're starting now to censor what you do. Don't get me on that, but I think what people should do, and I forgot to mention, I'm going to go back and mention this to somebody in the community. I think what people should do is do things through PayPal. Set up a PayPal account, and get people to, set up a Just Giving page. Patreon, I'm not saying don't set up Patreon, but set up other things. If you want to get money through your podcasts, what you want to do, make sure you've got other sources. Don't just do one source or another source. Don't rely on the platform to keep paying you. rely on other ways, rely on other sources, get some merch set up, get some t-shirts with your podcast name, sell them, get some key rings, whatever, yada, 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 yada. There's all that.
10:08 a.m.
Yeah, I've even lost track of what I was going to talk about now. So yeah, just don't rely on, I'm going to do a podcast, and they're going to pay me. Use other platforms, use Patreon, use PayPal, use whatever method you can. Just giving, I know it's for charities, but, there are ways, if you need money from your podcast, selling merch, selling a t-shirt, selling mugs, whatever. There's courses you can run. The list is endless what you could do. The sky's the limit. That's what people say, isn't it? Next thing that I want to talk about very briefly is, am I still going to be a mental health advocate in 2021 with all the stuff that's going on? Yes, I'm a mental health advocate. I remain to be it. I don't get paid to be a mental health advocate. I was going to get a paid job as a mental health advocate, but the person didn't get back to me with the relevant stuff, so it's not happening. Or I was going to interview other people, but who knows? I don't really want to be a paid mental health advocate, because once you get paid, you get censored. I'd rather do mental health advocacy online now. That's the way to go, isn't it? It's the way to be. I guess talk about it on YouTube, talk about experiences, talk about all that kind of stuff. Because people are going through a lot of, it's not just, there's new people that haven't even had diagnoses yet. I'm going to say this now. Do you need a diagnosis? Probably if you're going for, probably if you're going to college, or, if you're staying in the education system or whatever. But if you're not in the education system, do you need a diagnosis? Do you need a label? That's my thing. It's great if you are going for assessments and whatnot. It's great to have that paperwork. But at the end of the day, I like being an ASBE, but many other things as well. What, Andy? Radical believer. Radical, yeah. But the thing is, your personality is what you are. There's nobody that can take that away from you. At the end of the day, they can try, but it's one of those things. I know there's a lot of people that are confused and so on, but yeah, I think what we need to do with those kind of people is we need to help them. People are coming to me and saying, I'm pretty anxious with stuff. What do I do? And I say, don't worry, because everybody's in the same boat. It's not just, there's not just one person that's anxious at the moment. I think when we come out of this whole situation that we're in, I think the one thing that we'll all understand is anxiety. Nobody understands anxiety. Nobody understands it. It's strange. I mean, we start understanding it now, but it's not like the 80s and the 90s, which is a much better world, believe me, you. I mean, today there are things that have bettered, if that's a word, or have got better, if you want me to use better grammar, repetition of the word. But the thing is, right, a lot of people don't understand anxiety. They don't. And they're quite shocked when I understand it. Because you pick up on it. I think experiences in life where we understand something, I think, we're all learning at the end of the day. And nobody wants to understand anxiety. Nobody. The reason why they don't want to understand anxiety is because, it's not normal. It's not normal to be anxious. Why? It's like it's not normal to be upset or angry or happy or whatever. Anxiety is something we all feel. There's some people that have problems with it, but we'll understand that's a big problem. And anxiety seems to be a big parasite at the moment. No, I'm not saying that I'm anxious. If I was anxious, I would, I wouldn't tell you. That's the problem. When I'm ill and I'm anxious, I find it hard, usually, if I'm ill, if I'm anxious, if I'm sad, they're the problems, I can't, whatever. I find it hard to say I'm not well or something until I realise, I'm not well, because I like to just have that quietness. If I'm not well, that's when I get my sensory overload. I'm not saying it's kind of strange. I don't know, I just, it's the same when I'm sad. I don't want to be around everybody when I'm sad. I want to be around everybody when I'm sad, but I don't want to be, it's strange, When I'm anxious, it's a different thing. Because I don't know what to do. The best example was a time when I thought I'd lost my rail card. Now, my rail card was always in my wallet. I'll just tell this story briefly. I'll tell a couple of stories and then I'll go. So I had my rail card. I knew it was in my wallet because I'd used it. And I thought, shit, where's my rail card? Because they came, that was it. They came and checked my ticket and they said, do you have a rail card? I was like, yes, I've got a rail card. May we see the rail card? And Yeah, sure. So, get the wallet out. Sorry, sir, we don't see no rail card in there. What? It's in there? Can we just take... No, sorry, you can't take my wallet. I said, what if I've not got a rail card? What do I do? Well, you've got to buy a ticket. Oh, bloody hell. Pay full price for a ticket. Because I had money for a ticket. Anyway, that's completely irrelevant. I did not know what to do. And I was just like, oh no, what am I? Anyway, these girls, I was like, a bit jerky and everything. Anyway, these lovely ladies came up to me. They said, are you okay? I said, not really. I said, what do I do if I'm... I said, how do I buy a ticket? Well, I have to get off. They said, what have you lost? I said, my rail card. So they helped me look for it. Anyway, one of the girls said, here, do you want me to search your wallet? And I was like, oh, go on then. And so, might as well. I didn't really like people going in my wallet. I still don't, but because I had things in my wallet, as you do. And so they said, oh, here it is, we've got it, we found it. And the guard came back and I was able to go on my way. But boy, another time I was anxious was I got on the wrong train. We got on the wrong train. We got put on the wrong train. As you know, I wasn't deeply anxious then because I was with a friend, so we were able to get where we were going. The tale about when I used to, it was my third time going to Maghull by bus. And I told the driver where I was going. And we must have got into Maghull. I said, are we in Maghull yet? Yeah. So there was some passengers aboard. It was just after Maghull Square. And I just said to the driver, is this my stop? And the driver said, yeah. So I thought, okay. Got off the bus, he drove off. And I realised something strange. Oh, this isn't the right stop. So I stopped a lady. I said, I need to get to such a stop. And she said, oh, you'll have to walk over there. You best get in the next bus. So we flagged down the next bus. And the driver goes, oh, gosh, which bus do we go? 300. Right, I'll flag that down. That was a bit naughty, that. Anyway, he saw me off that bus. And got me to where I'm going. Another time, I'll tell you a strange. Another time I was really anxious. Was when it snowed, right? And we'd got the train. We got to Wigan fine. Then we went from Wigan, it was from Manchester to I can't remember. We had to get off somewhere anyway, and there was a few people travelling with me, but it got less and less and less, and I'm like, oh no. So one of my friends had to get off, and I'm left at this station on this platform. I'm like, oh no, what do I do? And they said, would you like to sit down? And I'm like, why? And I'm really frightened. Anyway, this lady came over, she goes, what train are you going on? I said, I'm going to such a place. Oh, we'll get you safely on that train. Anyway, they put me on that train, and they sat me down and everything, made sure I got a seat on the train and everything, and I got home safely. Another thing that happened, actually no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to leave now with that, but yeah.
Mic trigger. Mic lock button is on. Double mic finish.